Every I go live and this it says your live comes across the screen. I said that's sort of subjective, you know. Anyhow, here I am. I got a big project today to try to accomplish a couple of things, so we'll see what happens with that. Um, Trump gave his big speech last night. Um, I don't understand. There's a mental disorder, and I don't remember the name of it. You are given all kinds of factual information and whatnot, and you refuse to believe the truth. It unless you just refuse to believe it. That's just Trump's positive problem. He refuses to believe he lost an election. Well, Donnie's lost a lot of shit in his life, and he's going to lose a whole lot more if he's not careful. He's lost the respect of most of the population of the world, never mind here. What's keeping us safe is the reputation our generals and commanders and pilots and whatnot have. Because if you were looking for Trump for world leadership, it's not there. Only those countries that are non-democratically run by like oligarchs and stuff like that will admire Trump because they want his help in taking over the world, because they all have that in mind. Trump is sitting there and he's trying and he's trying and he's trying. He can't get out of Washington, never mind the world. He's got serious problems politically, health-wise, mentally, and nobody seems to be paying attention to that. But, it's going to happen. His speech was about 2026 elections, and how he keeps pushing the Save America Act. That's not Save America Act, that's Save His Ass Act. Okay? Because one of the things you have to understand, if Trump and the Republicans are forced out, and a majority of the Republicans are forced out of politics in the next couple of years, this year the political party, and next year either right after that or the following year he's thrown out of the presidency, he's going to go to jail. He's going to be safe with Hegsworth, and I'm not sure about the rest of them, but definitely Hegsworth. They're going to get arrested for treason, and they're going to go to jail. And that's got nothing to do with what he did as a president. The treason is a different story altogether. There's no immunity for treason. I don't think. I would hope not, but you never know with Trump. And that Supreme Court. There are going to be impeachment hearings from the day he leaves office to the next election, for various officials, Supreme Court justices, and I don't know. I think that's the only way you can remove a Supreme Court justice. I don't think a president can stand up there and just throw you out, because it don't work that way. It should never work that way. But anyhow, I digress, as I say. So he's got to stay. He's got to stay in power till the end of his election, to the end of his term, and he's got to have friendly people in office after he leaves, or he's chopped meat cooked. He'll spend the last couple of years of his life in either a mental institution, or he will die, or he'll be in jail. That's his life. That's his future, All right, let's see now. Just learned that the National Guard that's in Washington, D.C. going to be there until Trump leaves office. I don't know why. I don't know how they do that, but because I think part of it is such a hated individual, and there are assassination plots about out there for him. But I don't think the National Guard is prepared to defend Washington D.C. very well against an armed incursion. You know, we'll have to. That's not going to happen. I don't think so. We won't worry about that. Uh, Trump's teleprompter operator just got arrested for insider trading. You can't make this shit up, folks. You really can't. It's just this is like a this is like the show on Earth. You know how not to be president of the United States, what not to do as president of the United States. That's going to be in a textbook under Trump. But apparently, the $4.5 million he's made, or something like that, on insider trading. Jesus. Trump says, which this is something I happen to agree with, that the FBI is wasting its time investigating the death of Lindsey Graham and looking for conspiracies. I go along with that. I'm sorry, but that's what I think. I don't know why I think that. I just do. It's not something that I would worry about. I don't think there's any great conspiracy afoot to kill Lindsey Graham. I have a condition similar to his. I'm a little older and I'm still here. But that's how I'm probably going to die, from the same thing, aortic dissection. In other words, I have an aorta. I have a, yeah. I can't get it out, but you know what I mean. I have something wrong with my arteries, and that they could blow out, and that's probably what's going to kill me. Most doctors tell me, anyhow. Now, if you really want to know about collapsing of a society, these prediction markets that are out there now are not bets on wildfires. The headline is that could mean trouble because people will start wildfires. Most wildfires, a good portion of the wildfires are accidental arson, I call them, because people drop cigarettes and stuff where they shouldn't, and do something. Don't put a fire out all the way, Basically, it's arson, but they don't mean, they didn't, oh, I didn't mean to do that, kind of deal. So, if you look at the deterioration of all great civilizations, this kind of attitude, especially gambling and, well, you can't say sex because Trump's against sex, okay, unless it's for marriage, and then if you're raped, you have to have the baby. So, that's just stupid and dumb and immoral and just, well, I don't know how many other things I can call it. But that's Donald, but that's how other great civilizations have degenerated and have disappeared off the earth by doing stupid shit. And now this letting gambling, first of all, letting online gambling be legal, and these people are betting on football games, and these online agencies are sponsoring sporting events. There's no way they're legit anymore. I had my doubts about some of them in the past because I knew which person to affect to control a game, and what bets were the biggest bets and whatnot. I bet, and I won a lot of money for a lot of years. Well, a lot of money for me, and I did it for. I picked 14 Super Bowls in a row. More than that, I did, but I definitely won 14 Super Bowls in a row, and then I just stopped because I lost one, and I just said, "That's it." You can't afford to. You were playing with money you couldn't afford to lose to begin with, and now you're playing with you don't want to keep doing it. And you've lost. Now you've got a problem. So I stopped betting. I also had an opinion about the games, so let's not get there. But what the hell is that? Boy, I tell you, when I write bad, I write bad. It's about a secret plot, but I don't remember what the deal was with the secret plot. But there's a lot of secret plots out there, to overthrow the elections, stop the elections. I said it before when people started talking about the 2024 elections. That's what we'll wait for. We'll just sit back and wait for that to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm sorry, but if you're dumb enough to think that Trump's going to let that happen, when there's several things that he can do, you know, we say, well, let's go out and start some trouble. Don't know. You do anything now, he's going to declare martial law, and you have no election. All right, you'll have no choice but to go to fight. Now, of course, I'm fairly well established in a thinking pattern that I don't believe the military will back Trump all the way and something like that. Uh, because we're basically a civilian volunteer army, and I don't see them. They volunteered because they were patriotic and they wanted to defend the country. They didn't or they needed education. That's the cheapest way for them to get education. But they didn't volunteer to kill other civilians, Americans, children and kids. They didn't volunteer for that. So I really don't see that, happening if they went out and protested. But it's the Civil War aspect of it that I don't want to see because, look, I got people I'm still friendly with that disagree with me 100% politically. They're big Trump fans, and I always thought they were smart, but doesn't appear they are. These are people that I said when I admired Trump when the book Art of the Deal came out. They told me I was full of shit, and I should, he's a scumbag, and now they like him as president. Uh, you know, this is that there's a group of people out there, and I've had arguments with them, and some of them are really good friends. And it's one of the things that you learn as a bartender. There's certain things you can't talk about. But there's a whole bunch of people in this country that are Republicans because their parents were Republicans. You go up and say, well, why are you a Republican? And I did the same thing to my Democratic friends, and they said, why are you a Democrat? And they really don't have a good answer. And they said, well, my father was a Republican, and you got to choose, so I choose Republican. I had to vote Democrat for a long time. My mother needed some support in what she was doing at the time, and our family needed it. And that's where we got it from. So I voted and supported the Democratic Party for a long time, right up until after Kennedy got shot, and Johnson and RFK. That was pretty much the end of it. Pretty much the end of politics for me for a long time. And then I started voting again because I thought some issues were important. And I vote on the issue, or I vote on a person, but I'm independent. You know, I don't give a shit whether I vote. I don't vote. The guy's a Democrat or Republican, so long as I think he's honest, good, and saying what I want to hear. You know, there aren't a lot of them out there. Trust me. You know, but that's when I would. You know, if I was a Democrat, I'd be crossing parties and voting for a Republican. If I'm a Republican, I'd be voting for a Democrat. But I'm not. I'm neither. So I just pick. You know, the best person possible out of everybody. Green Party, everybody. I don't care. Well, you're wasting your vote. No, I'm not. I'm expressing my point of view. I'm expressing my right to vote for who I want to. That's not wasting a vote. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how they do that. If you declare yourself a Democrat, I don't know how they count your vote if you vote for the Green Party candidate. Anyhow, it's Friday, 17th of July. 11:11, baby. Come on, let's go. Let's get head for the casinos. 11, come 11, baby. All right, never mind. Anyhow, blackjack. I'm headed to tomorrow. I'll be back. I have to get some things done today, hopefully. I'm in the process of doing some of them now because we have company coming for the World Cup game at the house. It's like the Super Bowl of South America. Anyhow, you guys all, take care. And if you don't mind watching a fat guy keep tucking his stump gut in, and he's old guy try to get comfortable in a chair where everything hurts, come back tomorrow and watch. And better yet, subscribe, This is as real as it gets. It doesn't get edited. Ask Lucy. She's learned to sleep through all the bullshit, She misses some of her friends that don't show up anymore, but that's all right. People got things to do, and I'm much later than I used to be, so I understand that. All right, that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.